78. Happy Friday, Mike.
Happy Friday, TGIF. We made it. I've been looking forward to this, Vinny. I missed this.
I know. We've been very busy this spring / going into summer, and we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to be every week. But when we have some time, we jump on in and talk to everybody and connect with everyone like we usually do. So good to see you, Mike.
Good to see you always. This is great.
It's been a little bit. I forgot when we did the last one. I think it was right before Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals when I declared there was no shot Boston was winning a Game 4.
And it's probably 99% of the population did so.
And meanwhile, I went to Game 7.
Do you believe that? What a story that was.
That was an incredible series. But let me just handle a few business items before we jump into the NBA Finals. We are on KKFI out in Kansas City. Hello, Kansas City.
What's up, Kansas City?
And, you can check everything out on Vin and Mike podcast.com. I want to thank a couple people that are continuing purchasing shirts and stickers and other items there, from our store, and all proceeds donated to charity. So we're very happy about that. So thank you for our audience that's continuing to do that. So, and we're on Twitch now. So everybody out in the Twitch world, good to see you today. All right, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Give me a rundown from last night. Joker, Butler, Bam. I tell you, I really like that Michael Porter. I wish the Knicks could find a way to get that guy. He is an athlete.
That would make a difference.
He is like Scottie Pippen to Michael Jordan the way he plays. He's not as good as Scottie Pippen was, but he just does like all the dirty work that you need a guy to do, and is just awesome. But I'll let you talk a little bit about the game.
I got to sidetrack for a second though, because you brought up Scottie Pippen. I can't let this go. I don't know if you set that up.
He lost his mind, Scottie Pippen. No, I didn't set it up. Watching Porter just reminded me a little bit of him.
I mean, I think a lot of people in the sports world saw the recent article that Scottie Pippen claims that Michael Jordan was not only a horrible teammate, but he was a horrible player. The best person ever play basketball. He's a horrible player.
I don't know what happened with their relationship there. I really
the last dance.
Do you think that's it? That's just like
I don't think it was great before that, but I think that put it over the edge because Scottie Pippen really didn't get the recognition that he thought he deserved. And listen, to his credit, Scottie Pippen is a great player. I mean, he was a huge compliment to Michael Jordan. He really helped that team. And if you think about it, Jordan joined the league in 84. Pippen came in as a rookie in 87, 88. And he really helped get them to that next level because they won their first championship in 91. So he was definitely part of the solution, right? But to go around to say that Michael Jordan is a terrible player and it gets out all over the place, I don't think you're going to be able to replenish that relationship. I don't think that's going to happen. And maybe he's going through some personal things for him to make those comments. He also said some very tough – he had some tough words about Phil Jackson and the way he coached and who he was. So I really don't know what's going through his head. If anything, I mean, the guy was on so many championship teams. I think he was one of the 50 greatest – was he one of the 50 greatest NBA?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So he's been recognized. He's been valued. I just don't – this is just – it's sad to see that, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, there was times when him and Jordan played together in the 90s that I always thought Scottie was the second best player in the NBA at certain years because he was just so good. And all the little things he did, passing, defense, scoring. I mean, he was a very elite, high-level player playing. Right. He's just playing next to the greatest player to ever play basketball. In our opinion, and a lot of people's opinion. And just Jordan was a different beast when it came to things. So it just happens, it happens to a lot of guys that are sitting there. I mean, look how good Jamal Murray is in Denver. I mean, to me, he looks like a superstar. And, Jokic makes him, take a step back because he's just better, right? So you just got to understand even at that level, there's levels, right? And,
of course,
as good as Scotty was, Jordan is the man. But I don't know where you would say he's not a good player.
Right.
I mean, he was saying that Jordan all he wanted to do was shoot and score, and then he had to change his game, and
we all know that's not true.
I don't know. It just came out very weird and strange.
I was going to say the worst thing about we always talk about legacy, right? So you make these, and reputation is so important. Now, Scottie Pippen makes these comments. It's all over the place. It just makes them look bad.
Yeah, and
I don't think there's going to be a person who says, you know what, Scottie, you're right. Michael Jordan was a terrible player.
I don't think anyone takes it serious. I don't know if Scotty was serious saying it. Maybe he said it in context.
Maybe he's trying to sell a book or something. I don't know.
I don't know. But, God.
All right. So let's just
last night.
Well, let's just take a step back because how Miami got there.
Yeah.
Vinny and I said after that game that, and pretty much all of the world thought that the Celtics were going to lose that series. And with the NBA, it's truly one game at a time, and they picked themselves up. And when Miami lost Game 6 horribly, right?
Terrible way to lose.
Jimmy Butler in that press conference just showed who he was. He just wiped it off, him and Spoelstra, and just said, we're going to go in there and win Game 7. And they persevered. And I told people this, Vin, that before that series started, that the Celtics on paper were the more talented team. But Miami had more heart. They had more heart in the series. They had undrafted players. And they were just better coached. Yep. Right? Game 7, actually, Matt Carl, I got to give him some credit on this. He said, basically, Boston was not coached. Because when you shoot the 3 ball from such a horrible percentage, you got to change your game.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that. So you live and die from the 3 ball, and they died from it.
Yeah.
There was no adjustment, and they didn't call proper timeouts. I got to give Spoelstra credit. Even when Miami was up big, right? As soon as the Celtics went on a little bit of a run, maybe like 3 baskets in a row, timeout, adjustment, maybe a player change. That's good coaching.
Yeah.
And that was something that was underappreciated. So
yeah, Boston, Tatum got hurt early, and Jaylen Brown was just terrible. And that's the difference in the game there. Tatum was the shell of himself with the ankle injury, and Jaylen Brown had to take over because of that and just couldn't do anything. He had 8 turnovers, if I'm right. I think he only had 19 points. His shooting was way off. They just played a terrible Game 7. I know Missoula is going to get an opportunity now as a full season and off season and work with the team, and the team has given him all the confidence in the world. They're all behind him, fully supporting the guy. So we'll see where he ends up, and how things move forward for him. I think a lot of Celtic fans are looking at Doc Rivers again, right? They know Doc is out there. Yes, Joe will get his opportunity to coach this year, but who knows? Halfway through the season, they're 20-20 and not living up to their standard, and next thing you know, he's out and Doc back in. I mean, it's possible. Like Frank Vogel went to the Suns today. Nick Nurse is with the 76ers. So all the guys that have been other places are finding jobs, and really the only guy left is Doc, right? That's and where else where is there an opportunity, potential opportunity? But we'll see how it all plays out. But
so
Yeah,
Miami,
I'll tell you.
Mhm.
I never thought Miami would be in this position.
No.
You know, I first of all, they were in the play-in round, right? They had to play Milwaukee. They beat Giannis. They played the Knicks. They just outplayed the Knicks, right? You know, and then going to Boston, I was like, all right. I think their run is over once they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they're still there, you know. But we know playing in Denver is a whole different animal. That Rocky Mountain air really takes a toll on teams, and I thought Boston the first half got worn out early in the game. They made a little run in the second half, but like you said, good coaching. Malone, 8-0 run to start that fourth quarter, or the second half. Was it fourth quarter? Whatever it was.
Okay.
Timeout, right? Timeout, and then a few adjustments, and you know they didn't play the greatest second half, Denver, but
they didn't need to.
They didn't have to, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So how about the Joker, man? Just that passing ability.
Yeah.
Another triple-double, owns the court. And you take him and Porter and Gordon Murray. I mean, come on. Like, this team is stacked.
And our man Bruce Brown there is a fantastic bench player. You know, Jeff Green at 30, whatever, 7, whatever his age is, you know, puts in a few minutes, you know, here and there. Kentavious Pope, you know, I mean, just does the little things. They're just amazing. But like I text you, it's amazing his ability to pass Jokic. You know, that he just finds guys and makes bounce passes and lobs and
it's so accurate
and straight. I mean, like all different kinds of passes, and gets guys dunks left and right. I mean, I can't believe the amount of easy layups and dunks that he puts people in with passing. It's incredible. And it always looks like to me that he's going to fall down. He's going to lose the ball. Like, he looks like he has no handle control. I don't know if it's the way he moves, but he's just always in complete control. His game reminds me a little bit of Larry Bird, you know, for his size. He says his hero is Tim Duncan. I can see that too in the way that he moves in the paint and when he posts and all that. You can see he's got a little bit of that Tim Duncan kind of style. But he's a fantastic player. It's a shame if these ratings are as low as people think they are. I think you're missing out on some really great basketball players, because Jimmy Butler as well is a phenomenal player. You know, and I think he gets a little underrated. People don't pay a lot of attention to him, but you know, he's a fantastic player. He gets to the net as good as anyone. You know, as Giannis does it, as LeBron does it. You know, Butler gets there
and with ease. With ease.
Yeah. I really enjoyed Game 1 in the fact that you saw how good Denver is, and then you saw the resiliency of Miami. They, you know, I don't know if did Caleb Martin score at all last night. There was at one point he
it wasn't like Game 7. I can tell you that.
No, and Strus missed a lot of shots. They definitely struggled with those.
Martin was not a factor at all. No, but Bam had a great game. He was.
Bam played well, but you know, Butler's gonna always do Jimmy Butler stuff. But I don't think anyone else did anything. You know, Gabe Vincent did a little bit, but yeah.
And when Miami's winning, those people are doing something. They're a big part of the contribution. So,
but Aaron Gordon was a huge player early in the game last night. And Gordon I think he scored like 15 points in like the first quarter or something. You know, he's like their fourth option on offense, or fifth option even sometimes. And he's sitting there dunking and doing all that stuff. But I don't know. I thought Denver for a while was going to be the team to beat. You know, I think I said it. I like them to win. You know, when the playoffs started. I think it's a very tough ask for Miami to go into Denver for 4 games and trying to capture one of those games. You know, they have to win all their home games. They have no choice. So I can't, is a game 7 in Denver, you expect Miami to win? Probably not. But at the same time, they went up to Boston and figured out a way to win. Yeah. But I think that altitude, it plays a big factor.
Especially in game 1. My prediction is I think Denver, this is not going to 7 games this time.
I don't think so either.
I think 5 or 6. I'm leaning more towards 5. I think Miami will get a win. I think Denver's they have more depth. I love the 8.5 point spread last game. If Denver wins game 2, then I think it's going to be very difficult for Miami to come back.
Now game 2 is Sunday, right? It's not
Saturday?
I think it's Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah,
a couple days rest.
Yeah,
which is good for Miami.
Yeah, I mean, they got to get used to that altitude. I don't know how much time they need to get used to it. I don't know if a few extra days is going to matter one way or the other. But let me see here. I just want to look at the schedule if I can't find nothing on my phone anymore. Yeah, so Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, and then Friday. Those are the first 4 games. If we go to a game 5, Monday, game 6 would be Thursday.
Okay.
Right? Well, Sunday. Yeah. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in game 7. Sunday the 18th. Why do they have Saturday the 24th? What does that mean? They have an extra date on this calendar. I don't know maybe that's the draft. Is that the draft?
Okay. That might be
the draft. The 24th of June. We'll stay. What's his name? What's the kid's name that's going to go to the Spurs?
Oh God, what is
it? 7'3" young the next LeBron James.
Oh man, I'm blanking. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm totally.
Wemby.
Yeah.
Wemby. Sorry.
That guy, man. They're talking. He's been the highest rated prospect since LeBron James. That says a lot. That says a lot.
San Antonio needs all the help they could get.
Well, every 20 years they get a superstar.
I know.
They'll get this guy and they'll win 5 more NBA titles over the next 10 years. So.
I'm just excited about the Knicks, man. I'm excited about their future. I'm very optimistic. I'm still very happy with the season. I am.
We'll see.
You know what? Who's played Miami the toughest so far? I would say the Knicks. They were right. I mean, they did.
Yeah, they were in every game. They were in every single game.
They played them the toughest. And if you think about it, if one of the other players, aside from Jalen Brunson, had just a okay game at game 6, they would have had a game 7 and very likely would have won that, I thought. So
yeah, I mean, listen, they were very competitive. They didn't embarrass themselves, in my opinion. They finally won a playoff series after 10 years. You hope now we go into free agency, maybe they can add another guy or 2 that could help with the supporting cast, right? And then we'll see if they can pull off a big trade and bring in a superstar. I think right now Brunson is shown that he can play in big moments, big games in New York, puts up 39, 41 points, right? And go from there. I'm telling you, if they could figure out a way to get Karl Anthony Towns here, because Minnesota really screwed up everything over there, their stuff. So maybe we can figure out a way to bring him over here, and then run him similar to how Denver runs. Right? You see Jamal Murray and Jokic, the point guard and big man. Towns has got the same style of game. He likes to shoot the 3. He likes to pick and roll. And pick and roll with Brunson all day.
Yeah. So we shall see. I think we're on the same page with this series. I think Miami, they've played their their hearts out, but I think Denver just got their number, 5 or 6. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be hard. I mean, ultimately, the best player usually wins these kind of series, and I think Jokic is the best player on the court. As good as Butler is, he's just better, right?
All right, let's move on to those Yankees. Can you
All
tell
right.
people the stat that you told me the other day about Aaron Judge, where he is now, where he was last year? Because I think people will get a kick out of that.
Yeah, so it's funny. My brother asked me what Aaron Judge's numbers were at the end of May last season. So he was 303, 18 home runs, and 38 RBI last May. Mm-hmm. So I looked at his numbers before May 31st. So basically the same date, right? He was 303, 18 home runs, and 39 RBI this season. Now that's in, I think it was 11 or 12 less games because of the IL thing. But he's at the same exact pace he was last year. That's the bottom line, is that he is on the same exact pace last year. He's by far the best player in baseball right now, offensively. Now, Ohtani is the most skilled guy because of his ability to be a high-level hitter and a high-level pitcher. But the guy that's the face of Major League Baseball right now is Aaron Judge. He just is.
And one other major thing that you had mentioned, I think, so important, that this year compared to last year, he missed an additional 12 games.
Yeah.
So he still has the same stats.
Yeah.
With not playing.
I know.
He could have. So
who knows where he can, he has these games where he just catches fire. He had back-to-back games where he homered and stole a homer. You know what I mean? He's a fantastic outfielder too. I think he's underrated in his ability to play the outfield. He plays center field and right field, and he's very good at both. They try to keep him out of center because they don't want his legs to get worn out throughout the course of the game and the season. As we know, center field is a demanding position, so they try to play him more in right. Give him an occasional DH spot. But he plays right field like a Gold Glove. He's got a massive arm. He tracks every ball. He looks this guy's 6'7", and he looks very smooth out there, like he's not 6'7". He's 6'7", 280 pounds. He's a monster of a man, and he just floats out there like he's 6 foot, 190 pounds. He's just a tremendous athlete. But I do want to ask you, Mike, because I'm getting a lot of texts, and then also our good friend Steve got some concerns. As we know, he's always got concerns about the Yankees. But I think he makes a good point, and we had a discussion because, when do the Yankees, or if the Yankees at all, make any kind of move with Volpe if he doesn't start producing more consistently? So, I think he can't stay. He can't stay at 200. He has to hit a little bit, And I was fair. I looked at Jeter's '96 season just to, you can't compare him to Jeter, but I compare it in that he's a rookie shortstop in New York, and seeing how Jeter did. Now Jeter was about 260 through the first 2 months, right? And then he caught fire in, I think it was July, where he batted almost 400 and really ended the season. I think it was 314 was his rookie average. So not that Volpe's going to bat 314. I don't expect it. I mean, Derek Jeter's a first ballot, all-time great Hall of Famer. So, but I'd like to see the kid get to 240, 250 at some point. In order to do that, he's going to have a month where he bats 320, 330, and I just don't know how much of a leash does he have at this point. And Steve made the point of Peraza down in AAA, who's already ahead of Volpe, coming into the season, which is kind of interesting. A lot of people thought Peraza would potentially be the shortstop, and Volpe, skipped him in spring training and all this stuff. Do they flip-flop, those two guys at some point.
Well,
So, you know.
I think it's a matter of, and the same thing happened last year. When your team's winning, which they are now, they seem to be on a good streak, the Yankees, it's kind of overlooked. So it's talked about, but kind of overlooked because of the way they are right now. But we see the Yankees get into a slump again. You know he's going to be on the chopping block, right? So I think time is limited, and Peraza's doing so well over there that they could easily make the switch. But Aaron Boone is really known for giving his players a lot of chances.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to give him credit for that. Like he stands behind his players. And Volpe, you know, there's no doubt he's like he wants to. I think he's going to give him a little more time. But if you see the people will point fingers once they start losing. Right?
Oh, yeah. Very quickly. So. Stanton is back. Donaldson's back.
Yep.
They sent Cabrera down, which he was struggling. I think he needed to go down. You know, he's struggling. Maybe Harrison Bader will stay healthy for more than 3 days at one point in the season here. And the guy he's been on the injured list ever since we traded for him. You know, Cashman is very good at getting injured players and making sure they stay injured.
Yeah, he gets an A+ for that.
Oh my God, these guys! But it's good that Stanton's back. We need him.
He's coming back. It's
good that you have Donaldson back because he's a veteran. You know, he gives LeMahieu a day off. He gave Torres a day off, and you know that kind of stuff. But, you know, you need that as the season goes along. You know, it's a long season. We're getting into the June swoon now, Mike, right?
That's my favorite thing.
It's 93 today here in the New York City area. You know, it's like death out there. It's humid. Waiting for the thunderstorm to come in the next half hour here and lightning to hit our houses and, you know, all that fun stuff that happens every time when it's 90 degrees in the New York City area. But that kind of weather takes a toll on you. You know, you play baseball or you just stand outside for a few minutes, you just feel it. The humidity here, for people that haven't been here, the humidity here is very heavy. It's almost like Florida humidity if you've ever been in Florida. So it's just very like heavy, the air, the whole thing. It just tires you out. So it's good that these guys are back. For, you know, to regress is that it's hot. We need days off. We need these guys, Stanton and Donaldson, to stay healthy. You know, Stanton, you know, he's the absolute worst when it comes to health. I'm surprised he's back by June. I thought we'd see him around All-Star break the way he is, but it's good he's back. I'm happy he's back. You know, maybe we could trade him this year so we can sign Ohtani to a 10-year, $600 million contract, but I doubt it. So what do you think about Ohtani? So there's another discussion I have.
Sure.
Two things. One, I think he's going to be the highest paid player in the 4 major sports. I think he's going to get a 10-year massive deal, you know, higher than Mahomes' 10-year. You know, I think he's going to be in the $55 million range. $550 million. I think that's going to happen. But the Angels, now here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're still in the playoff hunt, all that. If in this month things start getting a little backwards for them, will they trade Ohtani knowing they're not going to be able to pay him? And then if they're willing to trade him, are you willing to trade for him because you're going to have to basically give up your entire minor league system to get him?
Yeah. I don't know.
Unless you're the Yankees, who could trade their whole minor league system because they all suck anyway, these guys that they call up.
What do we say about them? What do we always say about the minor league system?
We always say it, man. Like, pull the trade. Pull it. They're uncertain.
Right.
They're
maybe one out of right.
Everyone freaks out. Oh, so-and-so got traded. You never
know how they're going to do it.
Again.
I know.
You know? You don't hear these guys. You don't hear of them. All these guys. Oh, they traded the grade A #1 prospect in all of baseball. Yeah, who is he? Yeah. Where is he?
You know that the Yankees they said they might be on top of the list to get him.
Yeah, because they could trade all those bums.
So do it.
Here's Cabrera.
You just told him what to do.
Yeah, here's Cabrera. You can have him. He's only a 200 hitter.
Because Judge got 360 for 9 years, right? And
got 40 million a season. The only way the Yankees can really sign Ohtani, in all seriousness, they got to trade Stanton. They got no shot unless they want to go over the luxury tax. But we know Hal does not want to do that.
Yeah. So this guy's going to go for $500 or $600 million.
He is. Mike, he's a number one pitcher and a top 5 hitter.
Yeah, the guy got rid.
He's ridiculous.
I know.
He is the modern day Babe Ruth.
He's incredible. As you said, best skilled player for sure.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, Judge is, where he is. But Judge only plays right field, outfield. This guy pitches every 5 days, and then he hits the rest of the time. I know he DHs most of the time, but still. I mean, his arm is – I don't know how he hits the next day after throwing like 100 pitches, right? His arm's got to be incredible.
The pitcher hitting thing, it's just you never hear about it. Never.
No, because – and even the guys like you listen to Paul O'Neill or David Cohn or both of them, and they say the mindset that you have to have a major league player, the concentration of getting your pitching together is a everyday job. And he's doing that plus getting his hitting, working on his hitting every day. You don't remember Paul O'Neill out in the outfield? He was always working on his swing, even in the outfield. So this guy's got to work on both of those things constantly, and he does, and he's elite at both of them. Imagine if he just concentrated on one or the other.
Yeah.
He might be at a whole other level, this guy. I don't know. If I was the Mets, I would make the trade knowing that you gotta sign him before you make the trade, or you can't give up the amount of prospects that you want to, right? Because the Mets have some really, really good prospects, and a guy like Ohtani to go in between Lindor and Alonso, forget it. That's like the guy that takes them to that next step in the National League. But the problem with the Mets is they got $100 million invested in 2 90-year-old pitchers.
They do.
I mean, Verlander and Scherzer they're making more money than anyone in baseball.
Yeah.
So, but Steve Cohen doesn't care. He just wants to care.
He just wants to win.
He's got more money than I think all the others combined together.
He'll do anything it takes.
It's funny. It's got to be like, think about being the owner of the Jets, right? Yeah, as big of a Jets fan as you are, or being the owner of the Knicks, right? And you have all this money, and someone tells you that Giannis is up for free agency, or Pat Mahomes is up for free agency. You're gonna be like, dude, I'm gonna give you $800 million.
I know, they don't care.
Right? Like that fandom kicks in. You forget about that it's, like a business and all this stuff. I think that's what happens with Cohen. I think he's just like, Verlander's a free agent. All right, we'll give him $40 million.
Yeah, it's true.
So, all right. I want to hear about it. Ready?
Huh?
You ready?
Oh, God.
Here we go. Aaron Rodgers doing his little dance at the Taylor Swift concert. At OTAs, every single practice, at the Ranger games, at the Knick games, all over New York, at all the restaurants, being, bougie everywhere, big smile on his face, having a great time. What are you feeling about your quarterback?
Oh, it's better than the alternative. I mean, before this trade happened, there were people like, does he want to be in New York? Is he going to get along with the players? What I loved, aside from being that Taylor Swift concert when the confetti was coming down, he goes, the Jets win the Super Bowl.
That's right. Right in MetLife.
So, I mean, this guy wants to win. And I think he needed a fresh start. So, we talked about this, Vinny, how originally he was just all about having the receivers that he wanted. He wanted veterans. He wanted this. He wanted that. But I think like something went through his head to say, you know what? I want out of Green Bay. I want a fresh start, and I want to be part of this organization. So yeah.
In Europe, according to Victor Ibiabama's games, the average player is not enthusiastic about him. Why is already a star in the United States? That's because he's projected to be the next LeBron James, according to what everyone's saying, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a question someone just posed to us. That I'm guessing in Europe he's not looked at as big of a star as he's been talked about here in the U.S. But the scouts and all that have projected him to, look like he's going to be Giannis, LeBron, that kind of skill set that's going to translate to the NBA. But again, wait and see. We'll see how things move forward and all that. But back to Rodgers real quick.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I think the Packers drafting Jordan Love was one of the worst things they did, in that they basically alienated him at that point, because he wanted to be the guy that got receivers and had some first round picks and just continue to move forward, and they alienated him. And that's the way he felt. Now he comes here, they already had Garrett Wilson, they brought in a few guys that he wanted, and built the team around them. Breece Hall's coming back, which, everything, looks positive in that manner. And I think ultimately this is going to be a very revived Aaron Rodgers. Now, the only thing is the AFC is extremely tough, and the quarterbacks in the AFC are extremely good.
Right.
And we'll see how it all plays out. So,
yeah.
We'll go there. Oh, let's see what he said again about it. In Europe, no one counts him out. And what he did in a good training camp in the United States and Europe, he fails to play like that. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what that means. You know what that means?
I was trying to figure it out, but
yeah. I'm thinking maybe he looked good in training camp here, but he doesn't play.
No, I think what he's saying is that no one counts him out. No one counts him out in Europe, but I guess he had a good training camp in the United States, but in Europe maybe it's a different.
He doesn't play the way he maybe translates.
That's what it means.
It could be. What is he? 19 years old, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
What was LeBron? 18.
LeBron was 18. Remember Kobe Bryant, and for everyone that forgets, Kobe was a bench player, like ninth man with the Lakers his first season at 18. And you can look at the stats; they're very low. Well, people weren't sure how he was going to translate, moving into the next level. He wasn't one of the top 10 picks in the 96 draft, if I'm right. He went somewhere in the middle. So, sometimes it takes a while. Listen, when I was 19 years old, I didn't know what the hell was going on in life. So, you get a little more mature. Things work together. And he'll be in a good situation in San Antonio as well. All right, that's a good organization.
Yeah,
he'll be able to do a lot of good things there. So,
for sure.
Thanks for the questions. It's a foreign name, so I don't know what language that is to pronounce the name. But thank you for your questions. All right, Mike. I know there's not much going on besides the French Open, which I know you watched Djokovic today. I know you had that on. I know you were watching the WNBA the other night.
Yeah.
And you're out there on the golf links watching John Rahm try to win another tournament.
You know all my sports.
And then we get the Belmont next Saturday.
Well, a bigger field than that Preakness.
All right. Yeah, I think it will be. I think Forte might be in it too, which I want to watch him race in one of the big races. He was supposed to be the Derby favorite and all this stuff, so hopefully he's healthy and all that. So, congratulations to Real Madrid in basketball, the European champion after beating Olympiacos Piraeus 79-78. There you go. I don't know if I pronounced any of that right, but that's okay. Thank you to our listener there that's been throwing questions and comments in the chat. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening to us. We appreciate it.
We do. We like to connect, so definitely continue to reach out. Tell your friends about us. We like, throw as many questions and comments in the chat as much as you want at any time. We enjoy it. So, all right, Mike, anything else?
That is it, my friend. I'm glad we're back. It's been a little hiatus, so good to see you. Good content. We'll see what happens in this NBA Finals. Like I said to our viewers, I think Denver takes us in 5 or 6. Would be surprised if it went all the way to 7 like the Celtics series, but we shall see. Stranger things have happened.
Definitely has. All right, let me go to our goodbye message over here.
Oh,
all right, everybody. I want to thank you for joining today, Vin and Mike. We appreciate you. You look really nice out there, Mike. And Vin, you look very nice too. I like your shirts. Oh, they're so nice. Oh, is that the Peloton behind you? Oh, that looks good too.
All right, let's cut it. Cut it before we lose.
Have a good night, everybody.
Goodbye.